What's up, Brew Crew? Opie here. Welcome back to the Brew City Garden. So we're halfway through the month of July, and even though we're quite a ways behind from what we would normally be this time of year, I know I'm not alone. It seems like most of the farmers and gardeners in the Midwest, and especially the upper Midwest, are just as far behind as I am here in the Brew City Garden. But with that being said, it looks like I finally get to make one of my first harvests of the year. So I thought I would bring you along with me on this momentous occasion. It's really not that great, but I figured I'd bring you along with me anyway because it feels good to finally start to reap a little bit of harvest from all the hard work and patience that we put in through the springtime. So we got a couple of things that are ready to pick, and a couple things that I want to take with me to lunch today, and Mrs. Brew City can put on the dinner table tonight. So let's go take a look, see what we got. Now, much to my surprise, my peppers are doing really well compared to pretty much everything else in the garden, which, being in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, seems a little bit odd to me. But I'm not going to argue with Mother Nature. If she wants to give me peppers before anything else, well, so be it. I did start these peppers fairly early in late winter, early spring, which I always do. And it's almost a necessity here in this part of the world in order to get a decent harvest. I've got the Jimmy Nardellos are really rocking and rolling this year. And I mean, I've got just tons of these things, and they're growing very nicely. Now, the Jimmy Nardello is just a wonderful sweet pepper. They're considered a frying pepper, but I typically just eat these fresh. If you wait for them to turn red, they are very sweet, very delicious. But even at this point, they're really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and take some of these larger ones and toss them in my lunchbox for work today. And these are gonna be a wonderful treat that I haven't had since last year. Holy mackerel, look at these squash. You know, I told you these things get absolutely massive when you grow them in straw bales, and this year is no exception for sure. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any squash to harvest today. However, I do have some coming on. I've got one tiny little zucchini just getting started down here, and I've got a couple of yellow straight necks almost ready over here. So within probably a week, I will be harvesting squash. So I'm super excited about that. I can't wait to get our first fresh squash of the year. Oh, it's gonna be awesome. Well, here's something I've been waiting on for quite a while, and I've been eyeballing this thing for at least a week or so now. And I think we're gonna go ahead and pull it. And this is gonna be my, ooh, it's in there too, my golden ball turnip. Not real big. And actually this one's the most mature out of all of them, which is surprising. I would have thought I would have had more by now, but again, it's just been a really strange season. I don't really know what to make of it. But you know what? That's very nice. That'll be perfect for lunch today. We can go through and we can clean up these greens a little bit. And if Miss Brew City wants to cook them up tonight, she can. Also, here is the sweet potatoes, which you can harvest the young leaves on these and eat them as well. I've never tried it. Again, this is my first time growing sweet potatoes this year, so this is more of an experiment. I think what I will do probably this weekend is harvest some of these leaves and throw them in a stir fry this weekend. And the wife and I can just kind of experiment with these, see just how good they are and maybe what they're best suited for. So looking forward to trying some of the sweet potato greens. And that's a pretty decent turnip, so that'll be my lunch today. As I'm digging through the ground cherries here, I do have a few that are starting to ripen up. And the one way that you know that the ground cherries are ripe is they actually, the little husked berries will fall off the plant and you harvest them off the ground, i.e. ground cherries. And these things are wonderful. The only issue I have with these is if I look around here, there's a lot of empty husks laying on the ground. I have to get to these before A, the kids, or B, the squirrels, birds, and other critters that like to visit the garden. It seems like everybody loves the ground cherries, so I really have to beat everybody else to them, otherwise I won't get any. But I'm happy to say I got a nice little handful here. Let's take a look at these. If we peel these, nice golden berry. These are just beautiful, so beautiful. You really want them to be a nice dry papery husk before you try to eat them. If they're green, one, they don't taste very good. They're a little too tart. And if they're green and you eat a few too many, it'll actually result in a bellyache. So definitely want to make sure that they're nice and ripe and just a bright, creamy yellow color. And these things are wonderful. Oh man, that's good. Holy mackerel, it is a hot one today. I think we're supposed to be pushing 100 degrees today all the way through the weekend, which is really good for my tomatoes and for my peppers. It's actually a little bit on the hot side even for tomatoes, and it's definitely on the hot side for Milwaukee, Wisconsin, so it's gonna take a little bit getting used to, but I'm a heat lover. I will definitely take the heat over the cold any day. And speaking of heat, check out these jalapeno peppers. Man, these things are looking just fantastic, loaded down. And a few of these I think are ready to pick. Now the jalapeno, that's about as hot as I like to go when I'm using them in a dish to cook with. And there's nothing better than a fresh jalapeno. Turn these things into poppers, stuff them with some cheese or some cream cheese, and man, are they wonderful. Look at those peppers. Aren't those beautiful? Nice and glossy. And again, I'm gonna pick a few for myself and a few to give away. And it's just gonna help keep these plants producing by cutting some of these off of here. So it's always good to do. Oh, look at these things. They're just gorgeous. These are just picture perfect jalapenos. Look at those things. Just amazing. Man, I love it. I really, really love it. Hey, and we got some big fat bell peppers coming on over here too. Those aren't quite ready yet, but they're coming. That's another favorite of ours, especially the bell peppers. I know it's easy to go to the grocery store and grab a bell pepper out of the produce department, but trust me, there is nothing, you can't compare a garden grown bell pepper to anything that you get in the grocery store. It's night and day. So we're definitely looking forward to those. I'll let them go a little bit longer. And for the time being, we've got plenty of other sweet and spicy peppers to eat for now. So not a terrible harvest today, not too bad. We've got, I got my turnip here, some sweet peppers, some Jimmy Nardellos. We got some beautiful, look at those things, just beautiful jalapenos. I even got these little tiny okras, which isn't much, but that's actually a very good sign of things to come. So the okra is definitely coming on. A little bit of herbage here, so you know, I'm really happy with it. You know, there's nothing, any gardener will tell you, there's nothing better than harvesting produce fresh out of your garden. It's just the greatest feeling in the world. And even though it's coming on late this year, we're definitely getting somewhere, and I'm super happy, very happy to get this stuff harvested out of the garden today. All right, guys. Hey, thanks again for joining me here today in the Brew City Garden for my first semi-harvest. Well, that was our harvest, right? Yeah, that was pretty good, actually. So definitely not complaining. I'm really, really glad to see that we're finally getting some produce in and things are starting to look pretty good. Hey, now make sure you stick around because I got two very large harvests coming up, and you guys definitely don't want to miss it. Both of them are fairly highly anticipated, so I know you guys want to see it. I'm definitely going to bring you along for it, so make sure you stay tuned to find out exactly what it is that we're going to be pulling out of the ground this weekend. All right, guys, try to stay cool out there. Have an amazing day, and until next time, we'll see ya.